Of Algebra 2, here we are with worksheet number 4 on advanced trig graphing. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to have a type of problem like this on the test where you're going to have the equation, then you're going to have the grid. There's going to be tick marks already on it. Okay, you're going to fill all those tick marks with the appropriate labels and fill in the graph. So we have 2 cosine, 2 parentheses, x plus pi over 2. Minus 1. Our amplitude is 2. Period. Normal period for cosine is 2 pi. But we have a 2 times multiplier. So we're going to divide by 2, and the period will be pi. Then we have phase shift, horizontal shift. We are pi over 2 to the left. And vertical shift, we're at minus 1 down 1. Okay, let's get our vertical shift on there right away so we don't forget that. There's our new midline. There's our new midline. Okay, normal period was 2 pi. We cut that in half because we had a 2 times multiplier on the inside. That's going to make this go twice as fast, so your period will be half as much. It's going to take you half as much time to get done. There are 4 special points for sine and cosine. We got 0 on the way up, the top, 0 on the way down, and the bottom. Okay, so we are going to divide this by 4 to get our counting number. So we're going to be counting by pi over 4. Okay, 2 pi over 4 would be pi over 2. 3 pi over 4. 4 pi over 4 is a full pi. 5 pi over 4. On the other side, we got negative pi over 4, negative pi over 2, and negative 3 pi over 4. Our amplitude is 2. Here's our midline. We're down here at minus 1. Cosine starts on the top. Our amplitude is 2. We're going to go up 2. That's where our first dot. Oh, we didn't do our horizontal shift, did we? Did I? I'm sure you did. Okay, plus pi over 2. We're going to slide it back pi over 2. Here we are. Now cosine starts on the top, so 1, 2, we're going to start on the top. Okay, and then every tick mark, we're going to go down to the midline. And now we're going to go 2 below the midline. Back to the midline. 2 above the midline. Back to the midline. 2 below the midline. And back to the midline that way. On the other side, we're back down to the midline. Okay, and we're going to smooth it out. Try to get a good one here for you. Okay, we can put arrows on the ends. Okay, domain. This will go on forever, so all real numbers. In our range, we're bouncing back and forth between negative 1 to negative 3, all the way up to positive 1. All right, so that's one kind of problem you might have, will have. Okay. Next type of problem is it's going to give you basically the domain. Okay, it's going to give you the domain to graph it over. Okay, so we're doing 2 times sine of 4 parentheses x plus pi over 4 minus 1. Amplitude is 2. Normal sine period is 2 pi. We have a times 4. We're going to divide that by 4. The period is pi over 2. We are pi over 4 to the left. And we are 1 down again. Alright, so I like to do the vertical shift right away so I don't forget that. That's my new midline at negative 1. Period is pi over 2. Again, sine and cosine have 4 special numbers, so divide that by 4. We're going to be counting by pi over 8. And we need to count by pi over 8 until we hit both of these. So we're going to do pi over 8. 2 pi over 8 would be pi over 4. 3 pi over 8. 4 pi over 8 would reduce to pi over 2. 5 pi over 8. And 6 pi over 8 would reduce to 3 pi over 4. Okay, going the backwards way, we got negative pi over 8. And negative 2 pi over 8 is going to be negative pi over 4. Alright, so we are pi over 4 to the left, right to here. That's conveniently where we're supposed to start it at there on the domain, so we won't have to go backwards anymore. Okay, and we have an amplitude of 2. Sine starts on the midline. Okay, so next spot we're going to go up 1, 2. Next spot we're going to go down 1, 2. Back to the midline. Then we're going to be 2 below it. Midline. 2 above it. Midline. 2 below it. Midline. You probably won't have domain and range with this type of problem because the domain is basically given to you already. Because we're only going from there to there, so we're not going to do arrows. Okay, the domain's basically given to you up there. Negative pi over 4, less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 3 pi over 4. You could use theta instead of x. Okay, in our range, again, we're between negative 3 and 1. But you probably won't have domain and range on that type of problem on the test, because it's, like I said, it's basically given to you. And your last type of problem, multiple answers, multiple correct answers possible. Okay? So what do I mean by that? If I'm looking at this first one where you have to write the equation, okay, you can figure out the middle pretty easy, halfway between the top and the bottom. Halfway between the top and the bottom. The bottom is 0, the top is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's our midline. So whatever it's going to end with is going to be a plus 2 at the end. Okay, now this is your choice. There's lots of different ways to do this, and it's your choice. Okay, you could view this as a sine, a positive sine function that shifted pi over 4 to the right. And it's going up and down. You could go from the y-axis and have it be a negative cosine. Okay, because it's starting on the bottom. You could have it shifted pi over 4 backwards, and now it's a negative sine function. Starts in the middle going down. Or you could go forwards pi over 2 or backwards pi over 2, and now it's a positive cosine because it's starting on the top. Okay, so you have all kinds of possibilities here. To me, sometimes the easiest is just taking the one that's on 0. Alright, if you like to have a positive sine or positive cosine or whatever, you can just shift it that way. Okay, we're going to go that it's going to be a negative cosine. So our gap here is 2 this way and 2 this way. So our amplitude, or our multiplier in the front, is negative 2 cosine. Okay, we picked this one, so then that takes away one thing for me to think about. I don't have to think about left-right shifting if I'm choosing to view it as starting right here on the y, or the y-axis. There's no horizontal shift. Okay, period. Let's look at that. How long does it take us to get back to the same spot? The bottom, up and back to the bottom. That's only pi, 0 to pi. So that is twice as fast. So we need to have a 2 times here on the inside. Okay, we did this right here, so we didn't have to do a horizontal shift. So we're not going to have anything. It's just going to be 2 times x. And we have a plus 2 because the midline's up top. Okay, that's one correct answer. What if we looked at it as a positive sine? Okay, so now the amplitude part is still 2, not negative. We're starting here and going up. Okay, sine. All right, now we already looked at this. The period is only pi, so it's going twice as fast. 2 times multiplier, parentheses, because I'm shifting it. I'm using it as a regular sine. It starts at pi over 4. So we shifted it pi over 4 to the right. X minus pi over 4. And then we still have our plus 2. Alright, so maybe it was easier to look at it here, like it's a positive sign starting on the midline, going up 2, down 2, down 2, up 2. Or maybe for you it's easier to like not worry about any horizontal shifting, and you're just going to start it on the y-axis. Whatever it is on the y-axis. Boom. Oh, it's down on the bottom. It's a negative cosine. Okay? So there's probably going to be 4. You could probably do a negative cosine, negative sine, positive sine. I would probably guess that most of us are going to do a negative cosine or a positive sine. Okay? And that's the same thing for the next 2 problems also. There's infinite correct answers. There's probably 4 that I'm looking for, and of those 4, 2 of them are going to be more likely. All right? So there you go, folks. Hope that helps. Best of luck out there, and we'll see you on Monday.